10. That nigga did it how I always wanted to do it, and I'll never be able to do it like that.
I want you guys to understand that this person that is on right now is literally family to the Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. What she doesn't realize is that she's always been family, but now she just is getting the interview, and we're just late doing it in the first place. Before I start the show, I just want you guys to know one thing. Women's Month is this month, and we are trying to highlight that as well. This particular person, I don't know how to do it. All right, this particular person is actually someone who I think is probably one of the smartest wrestling minds in Wrestle Talk in the IWC period, because she doesn't argue with emotions. She actually has takes and facts about her emotions. She's not allowed to say anything right now because I'm giving her flowers. I'm going to make it very awkward for her over the next minute or two at the first place. So she did this. So she's not allowed to say anything or laugh or anything, because at this point, I'm giving her flowers, because to me, she's amazing. Okay. All right. She is part of the clan with anything that she's going to do. I'm riding for her. I don't give a damn. Here's a retro. I saw Gang in them. What's up, Chrissy Tina?
You set me up. What the hell was that? You set me up. You made me take that bullet.
Yep, I did. And you know what's going to happen? You're going to take it. Pause. You're going to take it. You're going to like it. Pause. Yep, there's that too.
Hard pause. Hard pause. The things I do for love, let me tell you.
Hard.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello, babies. Hi, babies. My name is Chrissy Tina across all social media platforms. You can find me on my podcast with my best friend, James Beery. We do Wrestling with Friends, where we talk about wrestling past, present, and future, because I have way too many mommy issues, and the only mommy issue I really want is Rhea Ripley based. On Saturdays, we do NXT TakeOver Rewinds, where I work with talented creators like Hot Take, where we pick a wrestling where we pick an NXT takeover. We watch it for nostalgia purposes, because you know what, sometimes life sucks just a little bit too much, but life sucks a little bit less with wrestling and friends, because wrestling's always better with friends. This gentleman right here is probably one of my favorite, or if not my top, and this is going to start a lot of controversy, so get ready. My top creator. I adore this man. He's probably one of the most, if not only funny, but just intelligent takes. And I had to, soul snatch him as soon as possible to keep him. Is that not the word? Is that the word?
The word. You can't say soul snatch. I don't think you can say that. Pause. I'm going to pause you on that one.
Okay. All right. I'm trying here. But yeah, I'm going to take him away from Hot Take, and he's becoming a part of the faction Wrestling with Friends. And he really doesn't have a say in it, because at the end of the day, we both know that the only reason why y'all are even watching this is because my face is here, because his numbers are about to jump up real well because I'm here, and I'm coming for some of your co-host spots. So this is technically my interview, if we're going to be completely honest.
What this is. This is definitely a job review. It's exactly what this is, and the jig is up, and I've been found out apparently, but that's okay. That's all right. All right, we got to start the show off right. This is what I do every time. Okay, every time everybody comes on the show, I have to see when you started. So what made you a wrestling fan?
Growing up, I had a lot of recorded tapes from my older brother. So the very first thing I ever watched wrestling-wise was St. Valentine's Day Massacre. I believe that was 99. And my first ever pay-per-view I remember watching was a tape, like this bootleg tape, with this white boy with long blonde hair and white and gold gear holding a title, like kneeling and holding a title. I had no idea what it was. I asked my brother to throw it in. It's WrestleMania 12, and it's the boyhood dream comes true. And as you can see, I've been a Shawn Michaels girl ever since, because if there's one thing I'm going to have, it's good taste. Hence why I'm here working with Hot Take. But Shawn Michaels is what got me into the world of wrestling, and I've never looked back.
Awesome. I'm a fan of that. I actually have a dangle earring because of Shawn Michaels. So it's becoming all full circle thing. Now writing that down in the job interview portion of the co-host thing. Check mark off. All right. Mount Rushmore. Top 5 wrestlers of all the times.
Shawn, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Eddie,
Love it.
Ray,
Love it.
Randy.
Orton?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a rarity. Love it.
And Kenny Omega.
Oh, oh my God.
Reason why I have those particular people, it's because it's not just who they are based on like their characteristics or like how they portray their characters on screen, but it's what they did for their weight class. So Shawn Michaels is one of the major reasons why people in his weight class during that decade were taken a little bit more seriously. Why people started paying, like along with the Steamboat, along with the Brett, along with the Owen.
Right.
But Shawn is probably one of the first people that got the rocket strapped to their back in that weight class and was trusted with the title going forward. Same thing with Eddie. Eddie with the luchador background, not in the acrobatic sense of a luchador background, but in like the ground wing work of a luchador. He did incredible for what he did for his people. Same thing with Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio, in terms of the luchador acrobatic sense of luchadors, he put them on the map and has kept them there. Randy, in terms of second generation superstars, has put like more respect on those particular performers going forward and being taken seriously and not just having them being seen as nepo babies. And then Kenny Omega, when it came to like being taken seriously outside of WWE and the monolith that it is, and bringing more legitimacy to like a more civilian fan's eye to things like Ring of Honor, New Japan, things outside of what their comfort zone was. You got to admit, it's Kenny Omega and the Bucks that a more civilian fan would have knowledge of than anyone else. So the fact that he was able to make the outside factions just as popular when WWE was still running says a lot to how amazing he is as a performer.
Yeah, I think people forget that when the Vince McMahon era was after, like there was like no competition for him in terms of like a major brand of wrestling. I think it was hard for them to see that if we didn't get the Young Bucks in New Japan or in PWG, which is like, I highly recommend anybody that just loves to watch this great wrestling, just go watch PWG clips of like Battle of LA or whatever every year, because every year somebody was over there was going to end up kicking ass and one of the indies or in some shape, fashion, form. Because after what was it? I think after John Cena became Super Cena, I was done with wrestling for a while because he beat everybody, and it wasn't because I didn't like him, but it was like one of those things. It was like I was watching him wrestle. I'm like, I don't like that finish at all. That finish was a little bit much.
Absolutely.
I went to like indies or whatever else and just went through a dark space, whatever. And then WWE Network came back and I was like, I forgot how much I love this shit. And that's what
legitimately what brought me back was NXT. Being on the network and being as available as it was as the network. My first takeover back was when Shinsuke Nakamura debuted and fought Sami Zayn. I believe that was in Dallas. And for me to go, I would say at that point, maybe 4 or 5 years without really paying attention to the product, to being thrust into a match with the magnitude as Sami Zayn at that point in his career with Shinsuke Nakamura debuting at a takeover, it was almost like overwhelming in a sense, but in the best possible way. It's like when it's like when you feel the electricity come through your skin. That's how excited I was for wrestling again in that era of black and gold NXT with Gargano, with Ciampa, with Rude coming back, with American Alpha being what they were, like those insanely like 5-star matches, pay-per-view matches on a Wednesday night, on a Saturday night, whenever they were airing. It was absolutely insane. Samoa Joe during that time was a wrecking ball. Finn Balor turning from Prince Devitt to Finn Balor. Insanity. Jack the Ripper Finn Balor entrance in London. Crazy. Goes crazy.
Fire.
We wouldn't have gotten Rhea Ripley if it wasn't for NXT UK. Same thing with Toni Storm being as prevalent as she is now. She didn't stay in WWE, but now she's timeless Toni Storm, completely running roughshod on the women's division in AEW, and we got a visual of her from the NXT UK segments. So I'm completely indebted to NXT.
I'm gonna say something fucked up, and I don't care. NXT Black and Gold in ring wise is better than the Attitude Era in ring wise. I said what I said.
Not even a question. Not even a question. Not even a question. The fact that people would even fight you on that just shows how stubborn certain fans would be in terms of only wanting to keep on their nostalgia-filled glasses.
Yeah.
Because Leo Rush alone could outwork half the mid-carders in the Attitude Era. That's not even that's a fact.
A fact.
And honestly, work-wise, in-ring work-wise, some of the main eventers. You got Seth Rollins from NXT. You got Big E from NXT. You got Roman Reigns, the beginning of the Wyatt family in NXT. You got Paige and Emma, really the true kickoff to the Women's Revolution. You got the four horsewomen in Charlotte, Bayley, Becky, and Sasha. You got Asuka's incredibly insane, longest reigning NXT Women's Champion run to the point where they had to kick her out to the main roster undefeated.
And no one was beating her, and they messed up her run. Vince, jackass. But
I don't even want to.
At this point, it's also been one of those things where, like, I think people were more in anticipation over like NXT than we were about anything else. Like, we didn't care about the main card. We only cared about like the major things. We cared about like Yeselmania, Kofi Mania, stuff like that. But after a while, it was like, what's going on for Takeover? What's up with these takeovers? Like,
Absolutely.
Takeovers at one point, 3 hours. We knew what we were getting for 3 hours. And you know you're going to championship matches, 4 out of those, maybe 5 or 6 matches. Pre-show was going to be fire because it's going to be like a 5-star match for the most part or whatever. But the people that really can work in ring go to NXT or wanted to be at NXT in the first place.
AJ Styles wanted to go to NXT. AJ Styles wanted to go to NXT, as did the rest of the OC.
Right. They didn't want to go to the main roster. They didn't, because they weren't working. Like New Japan, I always say this: WWE is Marvel. New Japan, PWG, some of these other ones that have a faster pace, full on anime. DBZ, I'm talking DBZ, where it's like they've been waiting to fight for a while. And they watch fights like this and shit all the time.
Absolutely.
Like that's what
you can tell that they're more hungry in NXT. You can tell that they wanted just a little bit more in NXT, and then it kind of breaks my heart seeing the light kind of die from their eyes when that main roster music hits, which may not even be their initial gimmick. We all remember what happened with Becky Lynch when she was kind of on a decent tear in NXT, got called up to the main roster, and then she got turned into further like kind of comical steampunk version of herself. Paige was different. Sasha Banks was put into Team Bad. Like a lot just changed. Finn Balor was just washed. Finn Balor was washed when he went to the main roster. You have the leader, one of the original leaders of the Bullet Club at your grasp, and you're doing nothing with him? Like what he's doing right now with the Judgment Day. I adore the Judgment Day. The reason why Dominic is doing as well as he is because he's learning from Finn directly. He's learning from Damian Priest directly. Rhea Ripley seems like she has a very good mind on her shoulder as well when it comes to the business. This is why he's literally surrounded by incredible minds. But you mean to tell me that you're selling Rhea Ripley as the leader of the Judgment Day? You say there's not a leader, but let's all be completely honest here. It's Rhea. It's Rhea. But you're gonna play in my boy Finn Balor's face like that? Absolutely not. I can't do it.
I think the thing about it is that Finn is 40 plus. So it's always an age factor with WWE. It's always one of those things. I don't think Finn is out of his prime because he's in such good shape. He can give you like 3 or 4 years of being his prime, being a main eventer. The thing about it is that with Finn being in the space that he's in right now, when he was champion NXT Black and Gold, Rhea was champion in Black and Gold too. Like she ended up being champion Black and Gold too. So I think when Finn was able to be in Judgment Day, he was like, I'll take that. I had a banger match with Damian Priest when it was COVID. I know he could work. Give me Dom, because Dom, I know his dad, he can work, and go from there. JD McDonough's just one of his homies, and he was like, I'll pull him up out of the litter. We'll use him anyway. So, like, if we're being frank, and being honest with ourselves, the leader of that faction should be Finn Balor. However, if they will let Finn Balor do Bullet Club things, I think that the dynamic of that whole thing would be vastly different in terms of how it's up. But I think they put the rocket on Rhea, and it still isn't bad. It's not great, but it ain't bad either. So it is what it is. All right, ma'am. Obviously, you've heard my toxic takes before.
I've told you not to call me ma'am also, but, you know, like, I guess we don't listen to guests on this show.
Just an interview. Just anybody guess. Anybody guess. You've been on other shows with me. No, not even guess. Stop this. All right, here we go. All right. I am a human who believes that toxicity in wrestling is a thing that exists and must be acknowledged because dadgummit, people that run the shows be toxic too. For example, I said the following. Cody Rhodes is not a good face. And I'm saying he's not a good face because he's such a better heel that him as a face just doesn't make sense to me. Every time Cody Rhodes has been a heel, he is either way more over or way more of a factor in whatever he's doing. For example, Impact Ring of Honor Cody, where he had some girl who was about to wrestle Brandy. He was like, hey, no, you're not going to wrestle my wife. We don't know where your hands have been. Here's $40. It was 20 more than what they were going to give you in the first place for stopping by. Have a good one. Take care. That Cody Rhodes. Oh,
wild.
Cody Rhodes, Crossroads, freaking Kenny Omega while leaving the ring in New Japan. Oh, chef's kiss. There's nothing wrong with Bullet Club, Cody Rhodes. If you guys need just quality entertainment, just go watch the vlogs from the Young Bucks when they had the exorcism of Cody Rhodes and the whole rival thing. Oh,
BTE is incredible content.
Such good stuff. Anyway, what is one of your toxic takes in the wrestling? And wait till I finish drinking, because if you make me spit water, I'll be very upset.
I mean, spitting's usually not an issue for you, so I don't know why that would be one now.
Pause, bro. Pause. Jesus Christ, bro. Pause. Holy.
You compliment bombed me at the top of the show. I'm a mess with you the entire time now.
Pause. Jesus. Spitting. Wow. Jesus. Okay.
Some people are into that. We shouldn't, kink shame here on this podcast. We support
all
walks of life, Joe.
We're not going down that road. Okay. We're not this is not the show for that road. This is about you right now.
That's behind the paywall.
Because you go remember what happened last time we started this whole thing? 20,000 likes later.
We don't talk about that. Because I also got banned on that live.
What's your toxic take?
My toxic take is that Bayley is the best 4 horsewomen out of the 4 horsewomen. Persona non grata, point blank period. It's not even a question. Like leaps and bounds, miles away in the left side parking lot outside of the left field. It's Bayley. And the reason why I say this is because Bayley has been exceptional and consistently exceptional across all aspects of being a sports entertainer in terms of WWE. She has incredible mic work. Even when she was back in NXT with the super stalker, hyper, like waving inflatable tube men gimmick, she was consistent then with her promos, incredibly consistent in ring work. She's grown and shown growth in said work. And she can hold everything. She's hosted a WrestleMania. She's done pre-shows. She's done the pre-show interviews. She's done the online content. She's well respected not only within her peers directly, but within the suits in the upper offices. Right. Charlotte has incredible in-ring work, needs help with the promos.
Badly.
Becky is good with her promos, good with the ring work, but she's not consistent with either. It's either her cutting perfection, like when it came to her doing the man gimmick, or doing Dr. Susie and Rhymes in NXT when she was going up against Stephanie Stratton.
Yep.
That was an absolute joke for where Becky was with her arms stretched out and blood trickling down her face before that Survivor Series match to when she was doing ripping and rhyming with Tiffany in NXT. Yeah. And Sasha Banks, in my opinion, is the weakest out of the 4 horsewomen. The only reason why Sasha Banks is as crazy popular as she is because she bumps as hard as she does. Her in-ring work looks nasty because of the way that she contorts her body on the landings. Damn. She's a Dolph Ziggler.
Damn.
She's not good. She's not good on mic. And Ziggler had good mic moments. She's not good on mic unless she's up against Bayley. She's done work with Charlotte on the mic, and it was weak work. Her strongest work on mic was against Bayley.
Damn.
Bayley is so good that she can put you over whilst like she can lead the dance and make it look like you're the one that's doing all the work. She can drag you along and make you look like you're the aggressor. That's how good Bayley is. So the fact that Bayley is finally getting her stereotypical Oscars award where they give it to you 5 years after the fact at this year's Mania, that's not even, if we're going to be completely honest, going to be a main event. And she's going to be slotted in slot 3 because it's going to be WrestleMania night 1. Bayley's going to be the third match out with Io. Then it's going to be Seth versus Drew. Then it's going to be there's going to be the tag match between Rock, Roman, Cody, and Seth. And then night 2 is going to be Rhea, Becky second to last. And then it's going to be Cody, Roman as the main event. So even as the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble, even as the longest lasting participant in the Women's Royal Rumble, she is still being highly underutilized and disrespected by more likely than not going to be slated nowhere near the top of the card. Even though she is the Royal Rumble winner of this year, which makes absolutely no sense. If anything else, that tag match should be slated in 3rd because there's no title attached.
I'm gonna say something, and it might even be to your point. The tag match doesn't need to be the main event. And the only reason why I'm saying this, is just because of my nostalgic love for Rock. I don't want to see The Rock wrestle, so you might as well do it like you did Sting and Triple H, and just do it like that. Because it's too much. Like Seth, I don't think Seth will do night 1. I think he'll do night 2. I think they'll do like a bunch of championship matches that night 2. But there's no reason for you to have them as the main event of that match just because The Rock is back. Listen, The Rock did a scathing promo on SmackDown. Great promo on SmackDown. Hollywood Rock had to read from lyrics because he's old, but it's okay. I like how he's going to this final boss phase, a real Tekken-like thing where he's like the final boss. I'm excited about that. I like that. My problem is that when it comes down to it, I don't want to watch you wrestle one match. You are not Hogan, where you're wrestling like in a space where you get to wrestle younger guys that's going to carry you because they can carry the pace. Like when he wrestled Hogan in his prime, he can carry the pace and he can dictate the pace and he can move fast. Okay, he can move fast. Roman's style is so methodical that if Roman is the only person you're going to wrestle for your last little final boss run for the next 6 months or whatever, that's going to be a problem. You're not going to wrestle Seth. I don't think you would. Maybe you do. I don't know. But if you're saying this is my final run, I'm going to do Cody, Seth, and then end it at Roman, fine. I don't want you to do any one-on-one matches. They all got to be street fights.
I feel like people are using the age thing for Rock as like a crutch because I just looked it up while you were speaking on it. The Rock's 51 years old. Yeah. Edge is doing some of the best work he's ever done in AEW. Edge is 50. They're not that far apart. But like in terms of mentality, you're like, oh, like he has to, like read the lines, he's forgetful. I'm like, The Rock's an actor. You mean to tell me that he can't memorize? That's what he left to go do.
No, but he quit.
He was acting until he just did a movie last year. You mean to tell me that he can't remember 3 to 4 paragraphs for a 15-minute, half an hour promo, but he can do it in Hollywood? That goes to show me that he doesn't care as much about this industry as he used to. But because this is his last chance at creating a legacy for himself, he's tried XFL, he's tried doing sports commentary, he's tried all these other avenues, and they have not worked. So it's kind of begrudgingly kind of coming back to your small hometown after you failed doing it in the big city. Mm-hmm. And you can't give me your best here, where it all started, is what you say. Like that I can't respect personally.
Yeah, no, I agree. But so I'll watch Edge wrestle at 50 years old because Edge, this is gonna come off real spicy now. I want to. I'll watch Edge wrestle at 50 years old or I watch Trips wrestle at like late 40s, or I watch Sean wrestle late 40s, early 50s, because they can go in the ring in a way where it doesn't look like they missed a step. When I saw The Rock wrestle John Cena, I was sad. Like, it made me physically ill and sad because he's a shell of himself. He can't do a DDT with that snap no more. He can't snap his punches anymore. He can't throw those elbows. He doesn't move around as crisply as he used to. And I'm not saying it because he's older. No, I'm literally saying it. I'm watching you. Edge has a faster gear at age 50 than he did in his 20s and 30s. Shawn Michaels, his last 2 or 3 years of his run was literally killing me every time. Jesus. I've watched Taker 1, him and Taker 2, triple threat match with him and Shawn, everything else, and then watching him after the little Brothers of Destruction destroyed me internally.
No. As one of my friends say, anything that happens in Saudi Arabia stays in Saudi Arabia. That is an entire TVA timeline a la Loki unto itself. We don't talk about that. It doesn't exist. Nothing that's happened in Saudi Arabia exists. That DX match with Grandpa Triple H and Old Man Hickenbottom does not exist. Shawn Michaels retired with the Undertaker. Same thing with Ric Flair. Ric Flair in TNA Ric Flair retired when Shawn Michaels took him out.
No, man. No, you're not going to get rid of. You're not going to get. Listen, I'll give you the Saudi Arabia one. You're going to give me TNA Ric Flair. TNA Ric Flair needs to stay. Okay. TNA versus Jay Lethal promo match stays. Don't care. Stays forever. TNA, the street fight that Ric Flair had in TNA where he's blood like a pig stays. Don't care. You can't.
The reason why we have Woo energy now is because of that TNA run.
Right.
The reason why he's like the Tales from the Crypt Keeper walking around AEW is because someone in TNA told him, yeah, you can go a few more years. No. Someone had to take that idea out of his head because when they said a few more years, Ric Flair heard forever.
Yeah, that's all that Rick needs. You think Ric Flair still took a bump at 80. He's 89 years old right now. He's 89. He just turned 80.
Fall to the canvas.
It took him 40. He's still falling now. Ric Flair's still falling the canvas right now as we speak. He's 92. After we just got done talking, he's 92 years old. Oh, look at that. 93 years old now. Ric Flair's old. Okay, Ric Flair's old. You know how old Ric Flair is? Ric Flair is struggling to get up out of my chair old. Okay, he's like you got when you look up for help old, that's how old Ric Flair is. Okay. I love Ric Flair. Don't get me wrong. Okay. Matter of fact, long haired, pinky ring diamond Ric Flair is my favorite. Okay. All right.
That Ric Flair still looked old. Ric Flair always looked old.
Oh, well, because we're not gonna have that conversation because it's very spicy. So we shouldn't have that conversation because
what conversation?
He aged like milk. First off, we know that.
Ric Flair no, like yeah.
I genuinely feel like with Ric Flair, when he did the last little run he did in WWE, that was fine. That was okay. And he knew, like he was like 50 plus, 60 plus. He's going on nostalgia. With The Rock, it doesn't feel nostalgic. It just feels like we asked you to come back, and it's like your father actually being there for you after waiting for 3 years for him to be there for you. Now you're over the shit now. Like it's not the same thing. Like it's not. And I
feel like it's even worse because like The Rock coming back makes it seem like Roman isn't valid. So with that whole example of the father coming back home, it's like that kid that's really good at sports and he gets signed to like a big contract, and that's when the parent shows back up again. Like Roman was struggling for a hot minute. Rock didn't stay too long after Roman got booed out of Royal Rumble Philly.
Right.
He didn't stay around too long for Roman, but now that Roman's tribal chief, Roman's about to break Roman's record. Roman's at the tippity top of the card. Now Rock wants to show up and like support the bloodline and do all the storylines now. But when Roman really needed him, he was trying to record fucking Jungle Cruise and is making himself the center of the DC universe, even though Batman and Superman exist.
Have you seen this narrative that The Rock only takes jungle movies?
I feel like there's something culturally or racially insensitive about that.
No, I am not. Listen, let's do a full deep dive of most of the Rock's movies. Okay, obviously the Fast series, Cars. Okay, and then he did the Driver movie.
No, it was the rundown with Shawn Michaels, whatever his name from American Pie.
Jungle movie.
Walking Tall.
Forrest.
No, there was Forrest in that movie. No, Game Plan. I love Game Plan.
Football
like
movie,
it's football,
obviously.
So it's grass. Like what? AstroTurf?
No. Football movie. That football movie and Disney money, obviously, because he played the Tooth Fairy too. Disney money.
Tooth Fairy, yeah, Tooth Fairy. That movie with him and John Travolta.
You know what movie that is?
I'm a cinephile. I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's really the Fast and the Furious series.
He did
those Kevin Hart movies. He did
Jumanji twice, Journey twice, both. That's 4 jungle movies.
There was a second Center to the Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Yes,
there was a second
one. 2 of them, and he did both of them. And then Jungle Cruise. Okay, The Rock. Now look. I'm not saying anything. But if you read Black Adam comics, they end up fighting in the jungle a couple times. I don't know what it is with him in jungle.
God,
I hate
it.
I didn't make this rule. The Rock.
See, but like, here's the thing: like, Rock couldn't even leave and be good. Like, Batista left and did like some pretty good work. Like, I liked Batista as Drax. Batista acted out Drax very well, especially in Guardians 2 and 3.
Yep.
Like, Batista did an excellent job. I feel like personally, John Cena had some pretty decent roles. Like John Cena as the Peacekeeper in the Suicide Squad and the Peacekeeper series was absolutely dope. Miz did a couple of spots on like Smallville. Cody did some stuff with Stephen Amell. Like it's all pretty like solid stuff. The Rock has literally never. The Rock, no, didn't he also do Rampage where it's giant mutant jungle animals?
Now you see my point.
I hate it. The Rock left and became the highest paid actor in Hollywood with no good movies.
He has not one.
Wild.
He has not.
I got slightly emotional during Game Plan, and that was because of the little girl. And that's it.
Super Pets is his best movie. The when he's Super Dog, that's his best movie. But it's the
Super Pets.
Yeah, same thing with Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart's best movies are when he's acting like the rabbit in Secret Life of Pets. That's his best movies. He didn't have one good movie till he did both those Secret Life. He did Soul Plane, terrible.
You didn't like him in Act Like a Woman, Think Like a Man.
No, it's just Think Like a Man was terrible. Okay, here we go. All right, so as the guy that like loves rom-coms and everything else, that movie was okay. It's solid, whatever. But Kevin Hart in that movie,
the cast was solid. Like Taraji P. Henson, I would jump in front of a train for that woman. The dude with the light eyes from Barbershop.
Yeah, you want me to believe that Taraji P. Henson's not gonna go with this light skinned, green-eyed devil that just literally can cook.
Because I'm an artist and I won't be able to fucking shut up.
You think she makes 6 figures and just can cook?
She's using your face as a chair. Like she don't care what you bring to the table. Just emotionally support her and shut up. Like that's what she's like. She doesn't need the help.
And then
same thing with Megan Good. You really think that Megan Good is who is she hooking up with in that movie?
Romani Malco, the dude from 40-Year-Old Version.
No,
yes.
No, absolutely no way.
Yes,
he's great. I love him. Megan Good, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
That dude is one of the funniest people.
He is funny.
In the history of history.
Who knows? Maybe the comedy is like, hey, listen, like I love a good solid, like someone who can make me laugh. It's not that hard. Literally tell a girl she's pretty, make her laugh, and like feed her, and that's like 50% of the work. No,
bro, that movie was weird. I can't do it. I don't believe it. Because you want me
to take dating advice from someone who's been divorced like 80 times?
No, yeah. And the book was like that was like a cult thing. The book was like a cult thing. Like it was.
He had his daughters pushing that book. So I'm like, so you mean to tell me that I now know that your daughters don't give it up for 90 days?
They're lying.
Because that's what jobs do for health insurance? Like what does it?
They did it, and they got paid. If you think Steve Harvey with this, Steve Harvey was on a roll. He was doing Family Feud, his own show, came out with a book and the radio. Okay, Steve Harvey has silently became a good millionaire.
He was Tyler Perry kind of before Tyler Perry had his whole thing.
Right, and it was
but Tyler Perry did it with just movies. Steve Harvey has a fucking empire. Right. And then it's so funny that he does that book, and then Lori Harvey ends up being one of the biggest fucking players in Hollywood.
Oh, first off,
she goes through motherfuckers every 3 weeks, as she should. Honestly, if you get used out of them, run them up dry, get rid of them, and switch out.
The Hollywood conversation is one of those things where I think it just has to be stated that listen, if you don't think polygamy is going on in Hollywood, you're out your goddamn mind. I'm just gonna put that out there right now. You think these two gorgeous people have decided to marry each other and just go mess with themselves? Are you crazy? They're gorgeous.
I don't know. You've seen Ryan Reynolds. You've seen Deadpool and his wife. I wouldn't go nowhere either if I was either of them.
He's Ryan Reynolds. Do you know most guys? There are some gentlemen who was if Ryan Reynolds wanted to hit, what you gonna do? What? As a man? I'm just saying, it's Ryan Reynolds. Get out of here. Stop this.
I mean, if you're comfortable in your sexuality, why not? Hey, listen, if you're willing to experiment.
I'm talking about some of the most hetero. Yeah, you're right. You're right. No, you're right. Because this is a conversation that I had a long time ago, and I never forget it. I'll never forget it. Never forget it. I never forget it. I was working at a major insurance company, I'll say. All right, go out for drinks. People get drunk. Deadpool, I think the first one's coming out or whatever. Not a big deal. And then randomly around people of a certain tone, it just says, I think Ryan Reynolds is hot. And I'm straight as a board, and I love women, but I think Ryan Reynolds is hot. And I was like, okay. And then people of a certain tone up the ante. He's like, would you let Ryan Reynolds fuck though? Yeah, I'd let him fuck. I think he'd be a great lover. And I was like, what the fuck are you guys talking about right now, bro? What are we doing? We
were eating mozzarella sticks and drinking beer, and now we're here.
I'm literally in the middle of. I'm literally in the middle of just a regular Jack straight. I'm just like, what the fuck are you guys talking about, right? What do you mean? So you wouldn't let Ryan? No. There is no amount of. I am not going to be a bottom for Ryan Reynolds. No, that's weird.
Who said you would have to bottom though? That's
what the next person said, and that's what the next person said. And I was like, I don't want to be a top either. I don't want anything to do with that. No. All right, what amount of money would make? No. Why are we having this weird conversation? No. I don't want to. Listen, Ryan Reynolds is cool. He's all right. I don't find him attractive. So what do you find? Not one.
Ew, you're vanilla, Joe.
Not one. Listen to me. Listen to me right now. Okay. I have lit I think for guys that are unable to understand that you can find a dude like black dudes. We say it's a cold ass jacket. It's a cold ass fit. That's how we say you got it, bro. You got the shit, bro. You got that shit. All right.
You got it on. You got
it on. You got that shit on. My palm color friends, bro. You're fucking hot. I fucking love it, bro. Look at you. You're fucking amazing. Fucking amazing. Jesus. And they're okay with that. We're not there yet. Because it escalates. Because what I'm noticing is that my friends of the palm color, they gotta up the ante. You can't just be like, you look good, bro.
It can't just be you look really nice today. It's ooh, I need to be inside you.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
No, but it's the same. I don't think it's a color variety thing, because it's the same thing with girls. Because I'm pan. I can't tell when a straight girl is just trying to be my friend or if she's trying to something else, because it's never you look very nice today. It's oh my god, I would eat into the center of your body. And I'm so are you picking me up at 8 or we watching Bridgerton or
Okay, so wait. So this is my thing.
I need to know what we are. You say something like that wild.
This is my thing.
I told some girl that I thought that she was pretty, and she was like, "Then why don't you use my face for a chair already?"
Okay. Oh yeah.
I'm like, I need to know what we are. I need to know before I move any further forward what I say for safety reasons. Really?
Just that down. Pause. Just that down. Pause. At that point, but there's nothing hot about two guys making out. I just want to put that out there. Not to me. I just don't think there's anything hot about two guys making out.
I mean, there's a very large fan fiction Wattpad community for that. So don't. Hey, listen.
Seriously? Oh
baby.
Oh,
after we cut this shit out, I'm like, ooh.
No, I'm keeping this in. This stays. No, this stays. I need the world to hear this. This stays. I need the world to know what's going on in these streets. This stays. Guys, do me a favor. Make sure you follow Hot Take Wrestling. Follow us on TikTok at Hot Take Wrestling, on Instagram at Hot Take Wrestling, at Wrestling Take on Twitter, Hot Take Wrestling Podcast on Twitch.
I'm gonna make sure this shit stays in because I'm doing the plug over it.
Yes, I'm doing it. Are you crazy? This is the conversation people need to hear. Are you crazy? I added the content for producer Ken Gardner, and Will, Old Man Logan, No Chill with Phil, Joe Freeline. Voiceovers are Jay Lazada _low as well. Also, please follow this young lady at Chrissy Tina on all social media platforms. This is her logo as well. Oh, we like that. It's so pretty. And then also follow in contact with Wrestling with Friends. They are all major streaming streaming sounds. Are you guys on Spotify, Apple Music, all the above?
All the major streaming services, yes, sir.
All the major streaming services. Please follow Wrestling with Friends. I'm keeping the graphic up here right now, and then so on and so forth. Your final thoughts.
We veered so far off course. Like we started with Bailey, and then we ended up with like kink conversations.
It's gonna happen that way. If you don't understand that this show is just listen, it's Hot Take Wrestling, and I get it. Wrestling's important, but wrestling always falls into everything. There's so much kink in wrestling that we're not even aware of right now. That's why we write wrestling.
Oh my god! That's the next episode. Because I got something to speak on. Because let me tell you, tied up Stephanie McMahon to the Undertaker symbol. Chrissy burned an image into my brain that I didn't. Val Venus, porn star Val Venus.
Okay? Let's have a deep dive in this for like the last 2 minutes. You think that the things that you're attracted to, the things that you like doing as an adult, and the things that you have going on in your life aren't somewhat having to do with wrestling?
Baby, I'm pansexual because there was a SmackDown episode of Stephanie McMahon being the GM, and they did a camera shot of her bending over a desk, facing away. Yeah. And it's a camera shot straight up her legs.
Yeah.
Leather skirt. She turns around and she goes, "Well, now that I have your attention." And I'm like, cool, I like women now. I don't know how this happened, but I do like women now. The Trish Stratus, Lita messed up me chemically, brain-wise forever. Yep. Live sex show. Yeah. The live sex show with Edge and Lita. Honestly, gave a little Game of Thrones like calling whore through the streets, because that was kind of a shame thing that they did for both Edge and Lita after the whole Matt Hardy situation. But yeah, just out here. You got Trick Williams fine ass making out with Lash Legend on NXT. Like even still to this day, I'm like, I didn't know that was something I needed to see. But now I'm gonna replay it like 5 times just to get a good angle is what I'm gonna tell myself at least.
Listen, as every wrestling, I will interview every wrestling fan. They're gonna lie about it to the day they realize when you are actually with a person that is actually able to do some of the stuff you want to do, you will realize you'll be able to go back to an episode of where you saw that at. All right, guys, take care of yourself. Be good. It's Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. You guys be good. Be safe. You guys are the real winners in my book. Love you guys. Bye.